Is it worth it to build new construction in the city of Boston? We just completed this project and I'm gonna give you guys that answer. So stick with me as we go over pricing and construction cost, strategy, and lessons learned. We are up on the 4th floor of our luxury rental building here in Roxbury, but take a look at the before. Take a look at the vacant lot the day we bought it. And now we got this 4 units, ground up new construction, beautiful rental building that we can rent out to our tenants. So we bought this vacant piece of land back in 2018 when we bought the building next to it, which is 17 Maywood. We bought that one, that was a full gut rehab back then. And then it came with a vacant piece of land next to it. Same owner sold it to us that we couldn't build. Us being curious, us trying to improve on anything we're buying and add value, we said we can't keep this just for parking. There's got to be a way to build here. So that's when we went and hired an architect, we hired a zoning attorney, because we didn't know back then what to do with it, right? We weren't the experts and we reached out to our network. We got these guys to give us some feedback. They thought we could easily get approved for a 3-unit building in this vacant piece of land. And we said, awesome, let's go for it. So we spent $75,000 purchasing it. And from that point, we spent about $50,000 out of pocket to go through the process of paying the zoning attorney, paying the architect, going through the zoning board of appeals, and getting our approvals for a 3-unit building. So once we got the building permit in hand, we could have done a couple different things, right? We could have sold this vacant piece of land with just permits in hand. At that point, the property was worth around $300,000 to $350,000. That's already, we're making money right there. When you think of the $75,000 purchase and the $50,000 in soft cost, and we're selling for three and change. So that's a great deal. But we said we own the building next door. It's a rental building that we still own it. We can own it for many, many years. There was a full gut rehab. Why not own a rental next to it? So we didn't have a lot of experience at that point because this building is our 2nd ground up new construction rental building. But we said we want to learn. And on paper, the numbers looked great. We went through the process of thinking and looking at comparable sales and saying, we can buy a building right now on the MLS, a 3-family, for $700,000, but it's gonna need a lot of work. It's a 100-plus-year-old building. It's gonna need work, right? So we're gonna spend so much more on that. We're never gonna get a building like this if we're buying on the MLS because we can't afford it. We're trying to buy at a discount. So when this opportunity came along, we said we're gonna try it. And at that point, it was just about jumping in and securing a lender. We went to a lender that we have a relationship with, and we borrowed $800,000 from him. And there's no monthly payments. We agreed for all the interest to be paid when we refinanced or sold the building. The important thing to keep in mind here, guys, is that if you are paying monthly, you better have those funds, because this might take 12, 16, 18 months, and our mortgage payment probably was gonna be somewhere in the range of $5,500 or something like that, $6,000. You gotta have that money there on the side every month. Because one, you don't have rental coming in, right? And you are not selling them until 12 or 18 months down the road. So those monthly payments, you got to keep it on the side. We decided to pay it at the end just to give us a little bit of breathing room month in and month out. And that worked well for us. But once we paid at the end, it was like $100,000 of interest payments, because this is just an interest-only loan, right? So you're not paying down any principal when you work on a project like this with a hard money lender. So guys, in this building, we spent $850,000 in hard cost construction. And hard cost is pretty much everything from putting a foundation in the ground, the utilities, the framing, the materials, right? All the subcontractors that went into building this structure. And then we got soft cost in the range of $50,000. And what that covers is our zoning attorney, our architect, structural engineer, our surveyor. There's a lot of costs that we pay upfront to get a permit, right? So keep that in mind, because you don't go from a vacant piece of land to a building permit in hand unless you pay all these people and get all the team to help you out with plans. So total, we ended up spending $900,000 between hard cost and soft cost. And that is about $100,000 more than what we had originally planned. Guys, don't forget, I mentioned we borrowed $800,000 from our hard money lender, thinking that will be all in, all our cost all in, because of multiple things that didn't happen, right? So things like inflation, prices went up on materials, labor cost went up. And then the other thing is experience. This being our second project, we just missed out on things that we should have known from the beginning. Next project, we're getting better and better, and we're gonna try to be on budget as much as possible. But starting out, it's hard to really know of everything and have everything on paper from day one. Guys, I wanted to share a couple takeaways with you because for me, I ended up being a GC for my own project, but you don't have to. I am learning on the job, and sometimes that's not the best way to do it. If you're starting out, or maybe you have limited experience on the construction side, I would recommend that you just go hire a great general contractor. Someone that has worked in Boston, someone that is used to building 2, 3, 4, 10 unit buildings, because they can get you to the finish line really fast. Right now with me, I took longer than what I should have, right? So time is money because we have holding costs every month, and I'm learning on the job, which is okay. I'm okay with that because I'm going to be doing this hopefully for a long time, and I'm getting better and better. But you starting out, go hire a GC. The other thing is, regardless if you're hiring a GC or building it yourself, have at least a 10% contingency, because things will go sideways. If you're thinking the building will cost you $800,000, have $80,000 put aside as a contingency. So think of the total build price as $880,000 instead of $800,000. And if nothing happens, if everything goes perfect, which I guarantee you it's not gonna happen, you can then return that money to the hard money lender, or not even borrow it from them, right? But borrow more than you need, because things will happen and you want to make sure you have capital. The other side is that if you don't have the capital, you can get stuck. Driving around Boston, I see a bunch of buildings that people have started and somehow they're not finishing them. So what's going on there? And that's the worst that can happen. You want to start and finish a project, regardless if you're renting out, selling as condos, because unless you finish it, you don't get paid, right? There's nothing there for you to make money until you are done. So keep that in mind. I think it's extremely helpful and important to be funded, to have more money that you need, because things will go sideways. And then we got holding costs. And holding costs is all those monthly payments. Guys, you gotta be aware of all those, because that's a cost that you're gonna have to pay, and you gotta have funds to cover it. And that's not profit, right? You have to cover all this until you get to the finish line, either sell or refinance the property. So for us, that was in the range of $100,000, because we hold on to this property for 18 months while building it. So there's a lot of monthly costs that you incur pretty much in this while going through the construction. And once the building was done, all 3 units rented very, very quickly, because they're nicely done units, right? So we collected in total $3,200 for unit 1, $3,200 for unit 3, and $3,500 for unit 2, because there's more tenants living in that unit. So total rent from all 3 apartments is $9,900 every month. And once we got those leases signed, we went to our lender and refinanced. And actually, I just completed a refinance with the lender a month ago. And that's crucial, guys, that you complete that whole process and you go through the refinance and get the money out. So that allowed us to pay the hard money lender, and it allowed us to get some cash from the refinance to cover all the money that we put into the deal. Because the goal for me, at least, is to get as much cash out from the refi and buy the next building, or invest in our marketing, invest in the next fix and flip project, right? Whatever it might be. So to recap, cost of the land, $75,000, construction cost, $850,000, soft cost, $50,000, holding cost, $100,000. With some miscellaneous closing costs now on the refinance side, we are all in at $1.1 million. And guys, this appraised at $1.5 million. So we just completed our refi, and at 70% loan to value, we got a loan now at $1,025,000. So with this new loan, we were able to pay the hard money lender back. We got some cash out at closing, but at the end of the day, all this means is that we are in this deal with $75,000 out of pocket. All in cost was $1.1 million. We got a new loan at $1,025,000. So our investment in this deal is only $75,000. And this building will cash flow about $2,500 every month. And that's just on the 3 floors. Because there's one more thing I want to share with you guys, and it's this 4th unit that we've been shooting the video. because this was another strategy. When we started, we got approved for 3 units. And then we realized that the attic is so tall, the height here is incredible, and we got so much light that this can't be a duplex unit like we initially started. This should be its own unit. And while we were going through construction, we went back to our zoning attorney and we said, hey, can we go back to the city and ask to make this a 4th unit? So we went in front of the Zoning Board of Appeals. We got approved for the 4th unit up here, which is 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. That's amazing. Now this is going to be a legal 4-unit building, and this apartment is going to bring in $2,200 every month. So we go from cash flowing $2,500 to maybe cash flowing $4,500 once this is nicely done and leased out. There's multiple things here, guys, and please comment below because I've thrown a lot of stuff at you today and I hope it's all valuable. But I wanted to let you know that even with me managing this project on my own, taking way longer than I should have, screwing up a few things here and there because of lack of experience, it turned out to be a great deal because it's a legal 4-unit that's going to cash flow every month. It's a cash cow for us, and we can keep this building for a long, long time. So is it worth it to build new construction in the city of Boston? For me, hell yeah.
Yes! Hell yeah!
100%. I'll do it again and again because, again, it's cash flowing extremely well, and I got a brand new building that we can keep in our portfolio for many, many years to go. I mean, it's all brand new, right? It's new construction. It can't get better than that. If you got a similar deal and if you need any help, feel free to reach out. Come to the meetup events. Guys, there's a lot of people there, not just me, but you can come meet with my team and a lot of local investors and pick their brain, partner up. You know, there's wholesalers in the room selling stuff. So come and join me there because it's going to be extremely valuable to you.